Hello everyone, welcome back to the Melodic Etude Sight Reading exercise thing. So glad to have you here once again, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. I very much appreciate you. Today I read Roshu number 9, and as I said in the last video, these are getting harder, and I'm starting to realize that recording myself makes it a little bit freakier because there's that extra pressure of like, oh, this is my only take and I have to put this on the internet afterwards. But I think it's really good for me because I'm having to tune in even more to these skills that we're going to be talking about today with sight reading and how to navigate the mental game that goes on when you pick up the horn and you only get one chance. So, and of course this is a little different, it's a little more lenient because I do read through them once before I record them, but it's still like pretty difficult even on the second run through. So, hope you enjoy. We're going to be doing a little bit of a discussion afterwards about what I do to practice sight reading and what I have learned from my teachers about the best tactics to tackle this thing. Okay, so I'm going to split this up into two categories, and first I'll be talking about what you do when you first get the music and you're seeing it for the first time. What I do is I check out the key that the music's in, the time signature that it's in, and then the tempo that it's at. That kind of determines right off the bat like how intense it'll be. If it's slower or faster or in a weird key, you're gonna have to prepare yourself for that. So, and then I look at style and expressive markings. So if it says dolce at the top, which a lot of these Roshus say, you know that means singing and very lyrical, beautiful lines. And then after we get the style, look at any difficult spots right away. So Roshu 9 has a lot of 16th notes, I think they are. So I went to those spots and looked for any accidentals. That's another thing with difficult spots. Normally come some accidentals that are not expected in the key. So yeah, look for that stuff right off the bat. Another thing you need to look at pretty quickly when you're seeing a piece of music for the first time is the rhythmic notation. So if there's any weird rhythms that you are not used to seeing, make sure you check those out. A lot of syncopated stuff happens in melodic writing to vary the content. And also just like figuring out how things are subdivided is like super important so that you're playing with good rhythmic accuracy. Keeping a good pulse while you're sight reading is also super important. Otherwise, you're not playing the piece in the right format. So, rhythm. Another piece of advice I would give is that if you are struggling with reading rhythms right now, or when you sight read, you find that that's like the hardest thing for you to grasp, I would say strip down whatever you're reading to just the rhythms and sight read that for a while. And there are a number of really great sight reading rhythm studies books out there. I still use my STAR method book from theory my first couple years of college, and I think it's really a fundamental skill that a lot of horn players, wind players, don't focus on as much when we're starting off. And so, that's like really important when you're playing in an ensemble, when you are sight reading on your own, when you're playing in any kind of setting. Rhythm is so important. And so obviously we want to play with good tone and articulation and everything, but that's all for naught if we can't play in time. So I would say rhythm studies should be a part of your practice. Even if you aren't working on sight reading right now, I think doing some kind of rhythm studies with your instrument, or like human drum sets, we did a lot of that in my theory classes. I don't know if everyone is familiar with that practice, but subdivision and clapping rhythms out loud and using your hands in that way is, a great way to get rhythm into your body. So I would say, yeah, super important. And next is the category of what to do while you're sight reading, during the process of sight reading. And so I think first I want to say that paramount should be the musical message and your phrasing and making beautiful sounds, right? This goes back to the teachings of Arnold Jacobs, and really singing through your horn, and always making it a priority to be making beautiful sounds as your top goal. But with sight reading comes extra challenges because it's the first time you've seen the music. So I think the beauty of sight reading is that you get to discover the phrasing as you go, and it's really interesting as an experience to be reading through a piece of music and seeing these phrases for the first time and accomplishing these phrases for the first time and making beautiful music when you've never seen it before. I think that's just so cool, and it makes you feel really good when you do a good sight read, because it's like very difficult. It's very difficult to just jump in and do that. And so anyway, I would say ground yourself in the phrasing and things will click for you on the technical side. So and a little tip, if you're more of a like tell me what to do thing person, look for slur markings. So Roshu's are notorious for their sweeping slurs on like every single exercise, and most melodic exercises will show you some kind of phrasing with the slur markings. So this one that I just did is 2-bar phrases, and so it's pretty much every single 2 bars is a slur mark, and so that's telltale sign for me to connect the dots with those phrases and put a little messa di voce on each one, depending on the arc of the notes as well. That can determine how your phrasing is going to go. So yeah, beautiful sounds always. That's the first point. Then second, on a more practical note, you should probably be looking ahead at least 2 measures, 1 to 2 measures, I guess. And that's so you can see the phrasing marks, but also seeing any difficult passages that are coming up. And you know, the note that you're playing shouldn't be the note that you're looking at, right? Otherwise, you're going to crash and burn, because eventually things are going to get hard and you're not going to be able to shift quick enough with your eyeballs if you're looking at the note that you're playing. So that's like huge for sight reading, looking ahead. Also, once the train starts, there's no getting off of it. So there's no stopping, no going back to fix things. It's a huge one for when we're starting sight reading. We want to make everything perfect. So if we screw something up, go back and fix it. Don't do that, because this is a performance. This is a one chance only. You know, really put yourself in the seat of, I'm on stage and I'm performing this right now, and this is my only chance. So I gotta do the best that I can, and I can't stop because the train's rolling. And then, just for me personally, because I have such a hard time with this, keeping your breathing low. I don't know if you could hear that. Low breathing. And when I say low, I don't mean just belly breath, because I know that's not how we breathe for trombone. I'm saying grounded breathing, right? So relaxed and full breaths. And if you can keep that sustained throughout your sight reading, you're going to have a better chance of the notes speaking, the right partials speaking, right? Because we need a constant airflow for us to play our horns. That's like paramount. So, yeah, those are the tips I have. If you have any other ideas or things that you try to keep in the forefront of your brain while you're sight reading, I would love to hear those, because I know I'm still on my journey of learning how to do this the best that I can. So I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page, check out my Instagram, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.